When God is saying, pay attention to the people that you're seated next to, this is what he's saying. How is it that you're saying what God is about to do, but I'm decreeing what God has already done? See, sometimes you're seated next to people that believe God got to come up with a plan to get you out of that thing. Yet you're believing that God has already delivered you out of that thing, and you just got to walk into what it is that he's already delivered you from. See, you're seated next to people that think God got to come up with a master plan, and you're understanding in your mind and in your heart that God already has you walking in his perfect plan. So you're seated next to people that do not believe that all power is in the hand of the Lord. Y'all are speaking and praying about something different when you got to be seated next to somebody else that's pushing you into a space that is already done. See, the problem is not about God moving too slow. The problem is that we stay seated around the wrong people for the wrong amount of time. Once somebody is speaking the wrong language, it's time for you to get up and move. If you're still sitting here waiting on God to do something while God has told me that it is already done, I can't sit with you, because it take a lot of work to believe in the impossible. It take a lot of work to believe and speak the invisible. So if you're seated next to people that still think that God got to go get building materials to build something, yet and still God has told you that he's already built it perfectly and in order for you, you got to be, you're seated around the wrong thing. And we waste too much time being seated around people that don't sharpen us. God says in his word, iron sharpens iron. And one level, just believing that God was about to do something, that's maybe who I was seated next to. But in the next level, as God grows you up and you understand that God has done a complete and finished work, that you're resting in what it is that he's already done. So there's nothing that God has to build. There's nothing that he has to create. The only thing is me walking in his finished work. So you got to get next and grouped up with people that understand that you are walking in his finished work, that you're walking in his glory, that you're walking in his victory. The problem ain't God. The problem is you, and you being seated next to the wrong people that can't push you. Come on, check your circle, y'all. Check your circle, people. Check the people that are seated next to you. Come on. You're seated next to some pullers, or you're seated next to some pushers. Fix it.